Cross. Pastor Rick here. Just a couple of quick announcements, and then hopefully something that you can participate in that we'd love you to. The first announcement is beginning early on in Holy Cross's history, the drivers came to Holy Cross and began pouring themselves into this church in ways that, like many of you have done, have just been giving of themselves for the sake of others. And in the last few years, Peter's been serving officially as a deacon. Before that, he was kind of unofficially as a deacon. And anytime that you serve as an officer, that takes a lot out of you. And so one of the things that the Bible calls us to is times of rest and refreshment. In the scriptures, those are called Sabbaths. And so one of the ways in which we care for our officers is that periodically we give all of our officers and our pastors sabbaticals. And so it is time for a well-earned, well-deserved sabbatical for Peter. He's going to be taking the next 6 months. So from the beginning of May through to November, the beginning of November, Peter is just going to be just a regular church member. So if you have diaconal needs, you still have 2 deacons to take those to. Bobby is the chairman of our diaconate. You can always take them to him or to Ben Halterman. But for the time being, what we're going to ask is that when you have diaconal needs, things of that nature, that these would not be things you'd bring to Peter, just to give him and his family a time of rest and refreshment. Please be praying for them during this time. It is not easy to rest. We are not good at it as a people, as a culture. And I know from my own experience on sabbatical that there are tons of different emotions and things that come up as we are kind of taken out of our role, the role that we've gotten used to, the role that we have been a part of. So please be in prayer for them and in prayer for our church as we seek to care for our leaders. Second announcement, it has to do with reopening. Listen, I know everyone is wondering, when are we going to get back to normal? And we are very eager to do so. We are keeping our ears open and our attention to the reports coming from our governor. They're not very clear, to be honest with you, so we're checking with other churches, especially in our presbytery, our stated clerk's office, things like that, to try and figure out, okay, when is it that we are allowed to reopen? We are active. Your pastors, your deacons, your elders are active in trying to come up with a plan for that. And as soon as we know, as soon as we have something, we are going to let you know. But we just wanted to let you know now that we are fully considering it. It's starting to feel like that ball is rolling downhill, and we are excited, so excited to be able to get back together with you and as a church, as it has been too long. And as we talk about that, there's one more thing that I would like to invite you to. This has been a period for all of us that I think has been deeply challenging. Some of us for reasons where it's taken us out of our normal routine, where we've been home more, where it's forced us together with people, or sometimes forced us apart from people. And that has been difficult. Growth happens when we are stressed. I am someone who is a hobbyist runner, and I know that the only way to get better at what you're doing, to get faster, to be able to run longer, is to stress your body into growth. But that stress is hard. And so here's what I would love to invite you to. We would love to be able to hear from a few of you, to record things just like this. Maybe it's at your home, it's sitting on your couch, to tell us how the Lord has used this time to grow you, to talk about the challenges that it's produced and the opportunities, maybe the ways in which you have been pushed, stressed, and struggled, because those are real, as we've shared those with you as well, and the ways that God has used those maybe to open your eyes. Maybe it's even just like, hey, I haven't spent this much time with my family in forever, and though it was hard, it hasn't been bad. Like, I've actually enjoyed this. I've gotten to learn more about my kids, to learn more about how they interact and things like that. We would love to hear those things. I would love to be able to put a few of those out for our church, just to be encouraged from one another, to receive that encouragement from one another about how the Lord has been working through the quarantine to make us more like Jesus, or how the Lord has been working in this quarantine to expose things in us that we are still working through. We will keep you updated as news keeps coming up. Like I said, we want to be praying for Peter and all the drivers as he heads on his sabbatical. We're going to keep you updated as soon as we have a plan together and how we plan on reopening. And then lastly, again, we would love to hear from you about how this quarantine has affected you and how the Lord has used it in your life. I miss you. I can't wait to see you all soon. We'll see you next time.